Hello and welcome to another bonus episode of the Derailment Chronicles, where no train of thought ever stays on track. And if nobody's told you today, I'm glad that you're here with me in this moment. Wow, we're back for another bonus episode. I had another YouTube drama that I wanted to talk about that it didn't really fit in with Bad Baby and Alabama Baka drama. So strap on in, and we're gonna get into this drama. I've got my favourite drink today. I've got my lemon lime Schweppes, as my little baby. Grab a snack and just come chill out and learn about the drama. So this drama came up on my YouTube, and it was only really because drama channels started talking about it. And I follow this one drama channel called Anna McIntyre, and he was covering it, and I was like, oh my god, this drama just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So the drama involves Tana, Joey Graceffa, Trisha Paytas, and Rosanna, which are some heavy hitters in the YouTube space, especially from OG YouTube. So, like we did with Bad Baby and Bama Barker drama, we're going to break it down. First, I'm going to explain who these people are and sort of let you know what their stake is within the drama. And then we'll go through the timeline of the drama and what's been happening. As of the time of filming this, I've only done up till then. I think it's come to a natural end, but it might not. Somebody might say something and then we're all sparked up and we're going again. So, date I'm filming this, I'm up to date with where we're at. So, and if anything comes afterwards, I could just do a little follow-up, recap. So, Tana Mojo. Who's Tana Mojo? Okay. So Tana is a YouTuber that basically grew up on YouTube. She's 26 years old. She started on the 30th of April 2015. So it's going to mark 10 years this year that she's been on the platform. And she's sort of famous for her story times, just basically the outrageous stories that she tells, which have also landed her in some trouble. But basically, over the years, she's expanded into music, reality TV, and she's had various controversies. So between 2015 to 2017 was mainly story times, and that gained her millions of followers. Okay, but then this YouTuber iDubbbz called her out for using her historical use of racial slurs. So she got in a bit of a controversy about that. Then in 2018, they excluded her from VidCon because she wasn't necessarily a creator, even though she had millions of followers. So she was like, oh, well, I'm going to do my own version of VidCon and call it TanaCon. And so it was poorly planned, poorly executed, an absolute dumpster fire of an event. But it was Tana, it had Tana essence to it, right? The complete dumpster fire, the girl that's trying to work out what's going on, what's happening. She's just trying to navigate things. And so, from the backlash at TanaCon, Shane Dawson did I think he called it a documentary, but it was a 40-minute video on TanaCon where he sat her down and he was like, this isn't how this needs to be. He sort of took her under the wing, right? And this was sort of the start of him taking people under his wing to save them at the height of his YouTube he was starting to peak in YouTube popularity. This was before his whole cancellation kind of thing. Yes, he had been called out at this stage, but he was in the good graces of the YouTube public, okay? Then in 2019, Tana had an MTV reality series called Tana Turns 21. which basically followed her personal life, professional life, and in that year she started dating Jake Paul, and then they got married, and then they split in early 2020. Now, it was an allegedly fake wedding. Her wiki page has had that she was married to him. But yeah, anyway, they're no longer together, and she's currently in a long-term relationship with Makoa, and things seem to be going great there. Then she has currently been trying to become a better person. She's trying to turn her life around. And so in 2021, she started the Cancelled podcast, which is funny because she had been cancelled so many times for what she had said or what she had done. So she decided to turn that into a business venture with one of her friends, Brooke Schofield. And so they talk pop culture, they talk cancellations. Basically, it's just two friends kikiing on a couch, right? And she also has her own beverage brand called Dizzy Wine, which she started in 2022. But she's since been on a more sober journey in 2024. And she has also appeared on Escape the Night in a couple of seasons. Remember that's going to come back, okay? That's part of the drama. Then you have Joey Graceffa, okay? Joey Graceffa is one of the OG YouTubers, okay? Rising to fame 2010s, right? Early 2010s. His content is gaming, vlogging, storytelling, and he created Escape the Night, which at the time was on YouTube Red, what it used to be called YouTube Red, okay? Basically, he gets all these YouTubers together and they play a scripted character role and they have to solve these puzzles to escape the night, right? Think escape rooms with YouTubers. And then it has become one of YouTube's most successful productions, which has moved to YouTube Premium, and has featured both Tana and Rosanna, okay? And then in addition to Escape the Night, Joey's got multiple YouTube channels, including one just focused on gaming, one on vlogging. He's written some books, participated in The Amazing Race. He also got more famous during his long-term relationship to Daniel Prater, which ended in 2020, which was like, oh my god, the dads of YouTube are breaking up kind of thing. It was a whole thing at that time. But Joey's usually stayed out of the controversies, but like, he has this long-standing friendship with Colleen Ballinger, who got called out last year for allegedly grooming children. And he never really has come out to say he no longer supports Colleen. He's just stayed silent on the matter. And so we don't really know if the friendship is more than just, I guess, a vested business interest with collaborations on YouTube. But people that collaborated a lot with Colleen Ballinger had come out and separated themselves. So Joey's remained silent throughout this whole time and hasn't really spoken on it. Then you have Trisha Paytas. Okay, and Trisha Paytas, you just say her name to people that have been on YouTube and she's just controversial, okay? Controversial, but she has been turning it around, okay? So, Trisha Paytas began YouTube in 2007, okay? Posting comedic skits, monologues, vlogs, mukbangs, dramatic storytellings. She was on Alan for Speed Talking. Over the years, she's been at the center of some like YouTube feuds, okay? Because she used to date Jason Nash, who was part of the vlog squad. Vlog Squad with David Dobrik, and then they had a pretty public breakup. Like, it wasn't good. She was also, well, she thought Shane Dawson was like her best friend, and like she would always defend Shane Dawson, and then she found out that he was like better friends with Jeffree Star, and she had the shits with him because he never defended her in any of her controversies, but she's here for him like when he needed it, right? So she felt used, one-sided friendship. And then, apart from YouTube, she's also done some music. She self-funded her music career, and while it's not like critically acclaimed, it's something she loves to do, and so she's been doing it. She loves to role play, cosplay. Um, she even got on Broadway early in 2025 for a one night only show. But something that's been sort of a sticking point of Trisha's YouTube career is the Frenemies. Now, Frenemies was Trisha and Ethan Klein, and Ethan Klein is from H3H3 Productions, right? And so they've got their own YouTube channel, own following, whatnot. And the Unlikely Duo, which is what they played off, created for some explosive episodes, okay? They would have on-screen fights, they'd get a doctor in to, like, repair their relationship, like, it was full on. But Ethan Klein, okay, here's where it comes in. Ethan Klein is married to Gila Klein, okay? And Gila Klein's brother is Moses Hackman, who Trisha Paytas met through doing the podcast, and then they are now married with 2 kids and 1 on the way. But when Frenemies ended, it was so toxic that basically Moses and Gila don't talk anymore. Like, the families, like, broke apart. Like, they are legally, like, married in, sister-in-laws, brothers-in-law kind of scenario. They don't talk anymore. They decided to keep it, like, amicable and stuff, but basically, like, it broke it all up. Yeah, massive feud. But now she's just sort of going on her own way, sticking in her own lane since having kids and getting married. And so she's got her own podcast called Just Trish, and she also talks about, whatever she wants to talk about, pop culture and stuff. She has guests on, and she also has started a podcast with Tana called Not Love Line. Okay, so those two have a business relationship together, which is important when we come into the drama. Okay, last but not least, we have Miss Rosanna Pansino. Okay, Rosanna Pansino, is best known for nerdy nummies. Okay, you want to know how to bake a cake? You want like a, what do they call it? Mario Kart themed cake? She's got you covered. You want any video game themed cake? She's got you covered. She's got normal baking content covered. Okay, she does the TikTok trends. All right, she is a culinary channel. Okay, there. Well, and she's now also expanded into a podcast. She's got a couple of music. She did a couple of covers of music videos. She's also been on some TV shows as an actress. So she's got all that sort of going on. But Nerdy Nummies is definitely what she's best known for, okay? And for years, absolute years, she has been flying under the radar, sticking in her own lane, okay? She did when Gabby Hanna came out, because Gabby Hanna had been on Escape the Night. Gabby Hanna was like, oh my god, production was so mean to me on Escape the Night, blah, 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 okay? Rosanna Pansino came up and defended Joey and Daniel, because both of them were involved in Escape the Night production. Came out to defend them on top of Joey and Daniel defending themselves. So that's really been the only time she had talked to it and talked into the drama, inserted herself into it, in a sense, to come to the defense of her friends, until, I'd say, about a year ago. So a year ago, Ro participated in the Mr. Beast Creator Games 3, okay, which was basically a large scale competition. YouTubers compete for money, okay, because Mr. Beast's thing is giving away money or win the money, whatever's, right? Anyway, she claims that she actually got third place. The way they edited the creator game, she got seven. It made it look like she got seventh place. Okay, so she had some beef with Mr. Beast. Okay, and the internet kind of rallied behind her, but was it like, girl, is it really that deep? Okay, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know if there's prize money. Anyway, she's got beef with Mr. Beast. Okay, then. Okay, Mr. Beast did that Prime TV show, the Mr. Beast games, right on the Amazon Prime. But to get onto that show, you had to do another competition before, and they had like 2,000 people, and they had to knock down 1,000 people, whatever. Okay, there was a lot of victims in that because they were treated poorly because the production crew, which was basically just like Mr. Beast production, wasn't able to like handle 2,000 people, and like people weren't getting their medication, people weren't getting like changes of underwear and stuff, people weren't getting period products. Like it was not good at all, right? Not safe working conditions was basically it. So Rosanna Pansino was like, I'm gonna give a voice to the victims, right? Which, like, go girl, yeah, you do you. But like the amount that she did it, it was like nearly every day. She was like, oh my god, I'm reading so many messages. I'm sorry, I'm like dyslexic. Like it takes me a while to read these messages. Like it was every day something was about Mr. Beast. And it's just like, oh my god, girl, maybe like once a week would be nice. Like, yes, I feel sorry for the victims, but they're like probably taking their own action. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole thing's just Mr. Beast. Like, can you just go back to baking cakes or cookies or something, please? And then, like, once every so often, update us with what's happening with the victims, right? And then it continued on, the Mr. Beast drama, because the Lunchley things came out with Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast, and there was some mold in the Lunchley she got. Other people had claim mold. And so it was basically a crusade, take down Lunchley kind of thing, whatnot. So she has been speaking up more about it, about more drama recently, but before that she was pretty unproblematic, okay? So now that we know the players, okay, let's get into the drama. And this one doesn't really have a dated timeline as such, but it's just an order of events, okay? So, the drama starts off with Tana on episode 107 of the Cancelled Podcast, which was posted on the 30th of the 12th, 2024, okay? Tana comes out and tells her story about filming on Escape the Night. But at this stage, we don't know it's Escape the Night. We don't know who the people are, okay? Because she doesn't mention their names or what project she's filming on, okay? She's just basically purely trying to tell her story with no names, just like her part, right? What happened to her, okay? But she shot herself in the foot when she started off telling the story, and she was like, it was like 9 a.m. I had to be downtown in LA in full glam in this little slutty outfit, okay? And it's all chaotic, and I'm trying to get to my scene, to watch my scene, and I walk in, and I have a YouTuber come up to me at like 9:30 in the morning and be like, oh, I'm going to smoke my dead dad. And Tana's like, slay, but also like, what the hell did I just get myself into? Like, this is chaotic, right? And so from that, Ro saw red, right? That's where Ro comes in, okay? But save that one in your back pocket for a little later, because Ro don't fully come into this yet. So basically, Tana's story was, apart from the downtown LA part, was that she was they were filming in this basement with no cell service, okay? And it was just her and this, like, hired actor guy, right? And she had to be chained up in this, like, meat freezer, right? And anyway, it's just her and the horror actor guy. Nobody else was around. right? And he goes, oh, like, great, I've always wanted to see you chained up. And it was like, what? And so she started feeling real uncomfortable, right? Like, really uncomfortable. So then naturally, like, she's telling people, like, other YouTubers on the set, that she felt uncomfortable, and they're like, you should go tell Joey, right? So then she talked to Joey, and they sort of sorted that situation out. And then they had to film another scene, and this other guy ended up breaking Tana's pinky. Okay, and she had to, get off set. She was like a level 10 pain. She's like, I've got to get off this set. I've got to go get this checked out at the hospital, or whatever the American version of the, like the urgent care, like, you know what I'm saying? She had to go get that checked out, okay? And basically, she was like, oh, the men on this set were despicable. They made me feel really unsafe, like they weren't even cute, blah, 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 right? Doing her little story time, not really meaning anything by it, apart from the fact that she felt a type of way because of what that man said to her, right? Which is perfectly and honestly fine. And then Joey gets on the Trish podcast. Okay, now please remember that Trish and Tana have a podcast together, and they both have their own separate podcast. Okay, so Joey gets on the Trish podcast, and basically he was like dismissing Tana's claims, saying it was just her complaining, and it was more about Tana getting publicity rather than like an actual concern, alright? And that he was happy that the show was getting publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, right? So then that had Tana fuming. So because like Joey kind of just like wasn't taking her seriously, dismissed the claims. He thought they had sorted it out on set. But turns out Tana hadn't been 100% honest with him on set, because she is like, oh, I don't want to cause drama for Joey. I really want to get this TV show out, for the fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of different interests, and she didn't really want to rock the boat. So, on episode 110 of the cancelled podcast, which was released on the 17th of Feb 2025, she reiterates her story and that she is just annoyed that people aren't taking her seriously, and like she was surprised that Joey didn't sort of like be like, oh girl, I'm sorry that happened to you on set, like I didn't want that to happen to you on set, like I want to create a safe environment. Like that wasn't his actual response, right? And mind you, before this, okay, Tana always said it was just old mate who said he wanted to see her chained up's problem, right? It wasn't anybody else's problem, right? It was nobody else's fault. And so Tana's like, well, no more escape the night for me, And Brooke's over there like, yeah, no more escape the night for Tana Marie, right? And so then it came out that Joey later apologised and is working with Tana to work things out privately, right? So they took it offline, okay? But it was just weird that Joey brought it up on the podcast rather than just addressing it himself, or like addressing it with Tana privately. Like, Tana, yes, made it public, but you could have ended it privately, but he chose to continue making it public, right? However, while Joey might be done with Tana, Rose certainly was not. And I need to correct myself there. Ro and Mike were not done, okay? Mike is Rose's long-term partner, okay? They have been together probably for at least a decade, okay? I'm telling you, long time, right? So, Rose saw red from Tana saying a YouTuber was going to smoke her dead dad, okay? Because nobody else has really done it. it was Rose's first podcast episode, and she had told other people about it. It really wasn't hard to put two and two together to work out it was Rose, and then work out it was Escape the Night. Anyway, so Rose smoked her dad, which was her dad's last wishes, right? And that is the point that Ro and Mike were most mad at, which would have been fine if they had just left it there. But they didn't, okay? They did not. So let's start off with Ro smoking her dead dad, right? So, unfortunately, Rose's dad recently passed, and his last wish was for his ashes to be buried in soil and for a marijuana plant to be grown in that soil, which is perfectly legal where they live, okay? And so Rose's first episode on the Ridiculous podcast, which is such a great name, anyway, was her sister and her mother smoking a joint, right? Smoking their dead dad, right? As a commemorative experience, right? A really beautiful experience. Now, Tana didn't have any problems with that being that, but in the way she said it, Ro felt like she was kind of mocking her, making a joke out of something that was serious, beautiful, and that Ro had received a lot of backlash on because people didn't fully watch the episode and didn't really take the time to fully understand the situation. Okay? So Ro got mad that Tana said, yeah, you know, a YouTuber came up to me and said they're smoking their dead dad, like, what the hell's going on? So, on a recent trip that Ro and Mike went on for, like, some charity event to the Caribbean, they decided to sit down at their villa, hotel, whatever you want to call it, and dissect every single podcast that Tana did that mentioned this story. Okay, they dissected it like they were in a court of law, and it went for 1.5 hours. And in that 1.5 hours, they did not relent on Tana. Okay, they were like, Tana's a liar, don't believe her, blah blah blah. Right? Every single point. It was like down to semantics at this bloody point that they had. Okay, like Tana was like, oh, it was an all-male set. So they'd show a video of a female and it's like, you're lying. Like, you know, you're lying about this. There were females on set. Like, what do you mean? And then they were like, oh my God, you can't class people as, like, you can't be snobbish because, like, people are from the rickets of LA. Like, you know, just because people are from a socio-economic poor area doesn't mean that they're bad people. And it was like, oh my God. And she's like, well, you know, like, you can't say that. Like, that's pretty snobbish. Like, how come you and Trisha don't want to go to downtown LA? Like, what's wrong with downtown LA, right? And, she was like, Tana wasn't really chained up. She could have escaped that situation easily. Like, Mike's like, she could have walked up a couple more steps and, like, she would have got phone service, okay? They were like, we want to see medical records of an x-ray for that broken pinky. Like, they taught, but they were like, I don't think it was broken. I think it was sprained. But they still wanted to see medical records because they were also trying to, like, they were implying that she was also lying about it. Then she was like, oh yeah, like Tana had said she was dressed pretty slutty. And they were like, well, no, that's your problem because, like, wardrobe said you could wear what you want. They picked out outfits. You picked that outfit. That was your choice. Don't blame the wardrobe people. Like, they were nitpicking at everything, okay? Like, a full-blown legal case. Like, I was sitting here wondering, are they on Escape the Night, like, PR team? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, do they have stakes? Like, material stakes shares in Escape the Night kind of scenario. It was so hard to watch because they had completely and utterly missed the point. If they had just gotten mad about the fact that, like, Ro was extremely upset because of the way Tana had described her smoking her dad experience, that would have been fine. That's a perfectly valid point, right? But they kept going, okay? They just kept going, okay? And completely missed the point, okay? They were not anywhere near Tana when Tana had her situation happen, right? but they were sort of implying from the thing that they think she was lying about it, like it wasn't as serious as she is making it out to be, okay? Like, that's what you're getting from the video, right? Because the whole thing was like picking apart her lies and saying she's a liar and you can't trust what she's saying and diminishing her experience. So that video was not received well by the internet, by anybody. It was so hard to watch, okay? Then Trisha Paytas gets on Dress Trish, and she was like, I didn't watch the full video. I question whether I wanted to mention it on the podcast or not, but like, I feel like I need to. I didn't watch the whole thing because it was just too triggering, but the clips I saw were long enough, right, to get the gist of what was going on. Now, Ro and Trisha are friends outside of work, outside of YouTube work, okay? Their kids have birthday parties. Well, Ro doesn't have kids, but her sister does, right? Molly. So, you know, Malibu Barbie's going to Grayson's birthday party. Like, the kids, like, the families are intertwined. They're family friends. They're inviting each other to each other's cookouts kind of scenarios, right? And so Trish comes on and explains this and explains that her and Tana don't hang out outside of the Love Line podcast, which sent shockwaves through YouTube because we thought they were besties and that Trish would 110% have Tana's side no matter what, right? And Trish does have Tana's side. But we just didn't know about how close her and Ro are. Because Trisha's whole YouTube thing is to not get close to other YouTubers because you get caught up in scandals and stuff happens and it's just not a good time, right? And so, anyway, Trish goes on to say, oh, like, I'm disappointed in you, Ro. Like, you came on Just Trish and you told us about your Screen Queens experiences, which was very similar to Tana's experience, and you're here dismissing Tana's experience, and like, we all rallied behind you with the Mr. Beast thing, like, I can't believe that. And she's like, I can't believe you would imply that I'm snobbish because I didn't want to go down to like downtown LA. And she's like, the reason I don't want to go to downtown LA is because I've had like 3 sexual assaults in downtown LA, and like, I won't go without like security, right? Like, that's why I don't like downtown LA. And so that was all happening. And then she was like, and then Moses, okay, Trisha's husband Moses, who usually stays out of the drama, pipes up, okay, and he's reading Ro to filth. He was just like, yeah, they completely missed the point. This isn't Ro and Mike, I know, like, it's Tana's story. They admitted that they weren't there. They need to leave that be. Like, they can't be dismissing her story if they weren't there and they don't know whether it's true or not. Like, they completely missed the point kind of thing. It's Tana's story. Tana needs to be able to tell it in the way that she wants to tell it. And yes, some things might be exaggerated, but that wasn't the main point of the story, right? And so then Trish was just like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to support Ro now. Like, I'm severely, like, and utterly disappointed in Ro. Kind of thing. And so that also shocked the internet. And then Ro posted on a Ridiculous channel, okay, which is the channel where the original dissecting video was on. And she, because it was not good for Ro, like, honestly, it was not good for Ro. They had to go into, like, I don't know, like, some sort of, like, CPR, okay, to get her back in the good graces. Ro opened up and apologised to Trish, both publicly and apparently privately, saying she didn't know about the downtown LA experiences, and if she had, she wouldn't have said that, and she was wrong to say that, and that she hopes that her and Trish can amend their relationship. And then she goes on to Tana, and she doesn't necessarily back all the way down with Tana, but she goes, yeah, I had similar experiences on the Screen Queens. Sorry for being defensive about that part, but also, like, the way you tell stories and the way you do this could actually, like, end some people's careers. Like, the way she was talking about the male crew members, right? Rose, like, I know these people, and they are hard workers, but if you tarnish their name, that means they won't get any more work in the industry, right? So she was saying, like, the way you tell stories, you've got to be careful not to affect people's livelihoods at the cost of earning your own. So that's what happened. So that's what's been happening so far with that. It was pretty explosive. Seems like it's kind of come to a natural end. There's kind of been, like, not a lot more said on it, but who knows? All these people like to talk, especially Trisha and Tana. So something might come up and it might start again, but I think everybody said their piece and got their points across. So I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. We'll get back to regularly scheduled programming with the next podcast episode. And if you like the podcast, give it a like, give it a rating. Let me know in person. Let me know on the Instagram page. And if you have any topics you want me to do, like, a little bonus episode on, just let me know. And I'll look into it. Bye now.